right. Good morning, everybody. We got a lot to go over today. So, some of the people are already talking about this in chat, but yes, I do believe that Bitcoin is ready to launch. We'll take a look at that in a little bit here. Also, Tesla's consolidating before earnings. Let's hop through a few things here. So let's look at Bitcoin. Again, it's exactly like I wanted it to happen, right? Like it couldn't get better. So we're looking to close the weekly. We did a good job closing the daily above this daily resistance line, turned into support. And the weekly, we didn't even spend any time down there. The fib, we stopped right at. This is a launch candle if I've ever seen one. So Bitcoin looking good. If we jump over to Tesla real quick, speaking of launch candles, 22% upside in a day is not bad. And there's a couple charts showing this too. But again, I think we have this kind of weird double left shoulder, head, double right shoulder, and then a launch. And I've said it a bunch of times, but the measured move is close to 500. There's nothing to be upset about with that. Today in pre-market down 1.34% after a 22% move yesterday. That is not bearish in any way. Also, the buyback blackout window is reopening starting today for a number of companies. So you could expect stocks to get pushed higher by that. We have seasonality as a tailwind, and we have Chinese liquidity expanding, amongst many other topics that we'll be talking about today. It looks like right now, met with Chinese commerce. All right, it looks like CNBC is just talking about Apple and Chinese demand for their products. I don't know if that's going to be interesting. If it looks like it is, I'll jump over to it. Right now, though, I'm going to say maybe not and just keep moving on. We do have economic data that we're going to be going over this morning. So if we look over here, we could see that the coincident index final is improving. And I think that's similar to the leading economic. No, I'm sorry. The leading is underneath here. Leading economic index is also higher than expected for Japan. So that's good. Business climate and current conditions and expectations are higher than expected for Germany. I don't know if that's going to play out, but hey, whatever. Business confidence in Hong Kong. Business confidence in Hong Kong is at new record highs. Oh, wait, my bad. It's actually pretty low. And that's probably going to continue. You'll see this slipping and slipping and slipping. Hong Kong has just been decimated by the policies of the CCP. So that will continue. Chinese direct foreign investment. It got better, guys. It was forecast at negative 32%. It's only negative 30%. When you look at this, this is catastrophic. It shows that we're deeper and have a longer route from Chinese foreign investment than what occurred in 2008. And they had massive surpluses and tons of capital back in the day. So, again, China, maybe stay away. Stay away. You can like the Chinese people and still hate the CCP and realize that their economy is in free fall. We have more data coming out in roughly 13 minutes. We'll get a bunch of data out of Canada. That'll be fascinating. And then we have durable goods orders, Michigan consumer sentiment, 5-year expectations for inflation, consumer expectations, current conditions, and initial inflation expectations final. So that will be the bulk of economic data today. It's actually pretty light. Thursday was really the big day, and it was all beautiful. CLSK vote. Yeah, there's a clean spark vote. People should vote for the 600 million. That's the right path. Whether it happens or not, I don't think is the end of the world, but they should work to be the biggest Bitcoin publicly traded miner on Earth. I think that would be a vast improvement from where they were in the previous cycle when they were just a little startup company trying to switch over from focus on renewable energies to a Bitcoin miner. I'd say that's pretty big path upward that they've made. All right, let's see what else. Saturday we have industrial profits out of China. I'm sure those are going to be miserable. So again, economic data is not too crazy, but we got some coming up in about 13 minutes, and we'll take a look at it. Let's jump over here real quick. We're going to look at the fear and greed index. We'll look kind of how the markets are doing pre-market. So I've said this before, but guys, what is there not to be happy about? I made $250,000 yesterday in profit. Most of that off of Tesla. You know what? I don't like this too high. We're going to pull you down just a hair. There we go. Better. 2/3 of that from Tesla. I'm sorry, 2/3 of $1 million, and then almost all of that from Tesla alone. And the greed index for the stock market is getting closer to neutral. I love it. This is a lot of money we're going to make. And I'll look at chat here in a second, too. Justin said, I wonder how Lena and Yellen did yesterday. I don't know. There's Div. Div got blacklisted, too, on X. I'm sorry, but if you say, oh, hey, you made all this money, why are you charging for memberships for things? I think that kind of misses the fucking point of filtering out the trash. And again, if I'm doing 13-hour days, guys, it's not a lot to ask for people to hit the likes and shares. And if they're max all in for everything I do, pay $12. I don't think that's very much. And I mean, really, you don't even have to do that. So whatever. Fuck people like that. There's always going to be people who don't see your value in life. I've learned that the hard way. I'm trying to teach my 10-year-old daughter that right now. And those people you just do away with. You just get rid of them. So again, we got all the way down to, 62. We're maintaining right there. This is beautiful, guys. Look at the amount. I've said this before, but look at the amount of time we were in this range from November of 2023 till April of 2024. We had a period of half a year where we remained in overbought conditions. Okay? So we've only been here for how long now? September. And it's October. So a month. So we could do this for 5 months and it wouldn't be crazy. So I'm not saying that's happening, but I'm just saying, like, this is not a bad area to be in with as much strength as we're seeing across all of the markets. This is not a bad place to be, and I'm not upset to be here. All right, we'll see if the alternative crypto fear and greed index ever comes back. Doesn't seem to want to. So we'll just move on from that. Let's check out the earnings calendar just to refresh ourselves of what's going to be happening next week. So big week next week, guys. And let me just check. I'm going to do this real quick. I'm going to switch. I'm going to take it off of favorites because I know what mine are. I want to look at what the broader market is doing next week on the calendar. So let's switch to this, and then we'll pop over to this, and we'll just see what it looks like. So I cannot believe we're getting close to an election. That's crazy. That's going to be a disaster, but let's keep moving forward. So Monday, not too many things. Waste Management, Ford. We get to see how quickly Ford's dying. Is Stellantis on this list? Nope, that's PHG. So a bunch of bleh companies nobody gives a shit about. And then Tuesday's the big day. We got Google, we got PayPal, we got SoFi, we got Visa, McDonald's, AMD, Pfizer, HSBC. There's just a plethora of companies reporting. BP, a ton of companies reporting on Tuesday. I will be doing PayPal earnings, of course. PayPal earnings will be pre-market, so they'll be bright and early on Tuesday morning. So just remember that. My shirt looks lighter red than it's supposed to. Might have to fix that. Coinbase on Wednesday, Robinhood on Wednesday, Meta on Wednesday, Riot on Wednesday, MicroStrategy, Microsoft, Starbucks. Just everything is on Wednesday. It's going to be a busy week. We've got so many earnings, and then Friday kind of quiets down. So it's really going to be Tuesday through Thursday. We did get a vote. People voted for Amazon. So this week, I'll be doing PayPal pre-market. I'll be doing Robinhood post-market, and I'll be doing Amazon post-market. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday will be the schedule that we're looking at. Let's take a real quick look here at the CME Fed Watch tool just to see how we're doing with rate cuts in the future. There's a big narrative for like a day where people are like, oh, we're not going to get any more rate cuts. We're not going to get any more rate cuts. Well, that doesn't appear to be true for November because we're looking at a 95.6% chance of another rate cut. Thank you to whoever just joined as a member. In December, we have a 75% chance of another rate cut. And then in January, we have a 51% chance of yet another rate cut. So to me, it looks like we've got 2 rate cuts locked in. Yeah, SoFi flying. We got some SoFi coming up. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We should probably look at that, huh? You guys want to look at that? Let's look at that. And then we'll look at the broader market too. Actually, you know what? Maybe we'll just look at broader right now. We'll go over here to our watch list. And, oh, wait, I can't do this in pre. So I'll have to do it this way. I'll have to draw down. I'll have to, I got it on extended hours. It's probably the way I should keep it. And then we'll just take a look here. So Tesla down 1.45. I'm not going to complain. TLT and TMF down again, getting no love. Gold ETFs down. BITX down because Bitcoin's down slightly, just retesting before launch. Outside of that, though, we flipped this little bugger around. And we got SoFi up 4% on the day. We got BABA. People are buying BABA. How stupid. Iron Micron, ooh, that's a good one. Hood up 1%. AMD, again, just Palantir up 0.57. Still kind of toppy. That's probably not going anywhere. Nvidia up. MicroStrategy, PayPal, ArcG. There's just a ton of stuff up this morning, guys. It's going to be a very interesting day, I think, in markets. I'm looking forward to it. Let's look at SoFi. So SoFi is beating right up against its next fib level, just like we talked about before. Let me do this. I'll bring this up a little bit. We'll pull this over. It hit it yesterday, and then it kind of retraced a little bit. It's making a very worthy attempt at the one fib line here, extension. Yet again, if you can see it pre-market, it's right up against it, even higher than it was yesterday. I don't know if this is a 52-week high, but this is pretty high, man. This is the highest level since August of 2023. So you got about 14, almost 15 months outperformance here. And then again, if it gets above that, if it gets above, which I think it could do, honestly, 1170, then it will be at the highest level. Then I think we get close to a 52-week high because, yeah, we'll be at the highest level we've been at since, what is this, March of 2022. So 2.5 years. So it's like I said, it's plotting that course. I still think it can get up near the 15. I think an analyst just raised it to 15 recently. Let's just hop over and take a look at that. Pretty sure some analyst did. That's Alejandro. Holy shibs, says the stock goat. Here they come. Davenport & Co. LLC. This is an ownership increase. Look at this. They definitely started buying. There was an analyst, though. I'm like 100% sure. Well, 100 is probably overly confident, but let me see here. Pretty sure we had an analyst uptick, and maybe I just didn't get it added on here. Breaking. Oh, yeah. Maybe not the best analyst in the world, but we got an analyst. He's number 3,441 out of 9,140. So he's still way better than Gordon Johnson, but maybe not the cream of the crop. Either way, we'll take it. All right. Let me get caught up in chat here real quick. I'll just put the stock heat map index, and then we got some commodity stuff to look at. We'll keep an eye on what's going on in CNBC. We have 4 minutes until we get more earnings-related data, and we'll probably hop into their chat in a minute. But let's just look here. So this is on Performance Daily. That was yesterday. Look at that. Look at that shining star. That shining North Star. So beautiful. And today it's down a little bit. And what happened? So, yeah, Trump 2024. I agree, Render. You've got my vote. So what happened this morning? So we get articles, too, about Elon Musk working with Putin to not support Taiwan. It's just all bullshit, guys. It's all bullshit. And thank you to the almost 560 subscribers over here. Oh, it's probably 560 now. Thank you, Steve's Burgers, for sending us over the top. Really appreciate you, man. But yeah, let's hop over here real quick. What was I going to do? Oh, yeah, I was going to put this up, and then I was going to get caught up in chat. So let's do that. Come on, man. You got to stay up. I might have to throw Bitcoin down at the bottom, too, because I think that's going to start outperforming in a little bit. Here, one sec. I'm going to fix a couple of things. Let me just do one thing. All right, I'm back. Thank you very much. Thank you for waiting. All right, let's look here. What was I doing? Oh, yeah, chat. And my heat map. Where did it go? There we go. Sweet. Am I streaming the Trump JRE podcast? When is it, Chicken Bro? Can you tell me? Don't forget to smash the like button. I appreciate that. Alejandro pushing his Ionic play. Thanks, brother. He does congratulate Tesla shareholders, though. That's very nice of you. Brandon Shep, good morning, Alphas. Oak, people that are poor with poor mindsets just want people to give them stuff for free. Value costs money. Well, there's a number of reasons for it. It's like I'm not going to. I already put a lot of time into this, right? I'm retired, so I'm not going to pour all of my money into it too. And then it's nice to be rewarded for your work. It just is, right? It's nice to be rewarded for your work. And again, it's nice to be able to have, the cost of additional tools that make all of us do better in markets and make shit tons of money, which is a lot more than the all-in price of $12 you're giving me per month. I don't know. I think it's worth it. And people that don't have to be here. And I'll help. Like I told Div, I will unburden you from what has been. And so now he is blocked and he won't be seeing my posts anymore. So congratulations for that. All right, Ethan was at a conference yesterday for work, so I missed your streams, but I'm up 78% year to date now, laughing my ass off. Couldn't be here without your knowledge. Hey, man, that's cool, dude. Congrats. There's nothing like being at work and making shit tons of money. It's what led me down this path, right? Crypto Analyzer, CLSK, offering news today. Also been lagging other miners the last few days. I think when we get this news event behind us for the doubling of the share issuance, it'll help. Ethan, morning everyone. Dennis, morning. Jamal, Hassan, my made in China Model Y is 10 times better than the made in America. If you want to get blocked, that's a good way to get blocked. That's just a stupid fucking comment. Now, don't get me wrong. I have tons of respect for people in China, but if you just want to go away, say stuff like that, because that's not even remotely a true statement, and it pisses me off. So I'm just going to make you go away, okay? Jamal, you're just going to say bye. How's that? Isn't that fun? Isn't it fun when you don't have to worry about talking anymore because you say stupid shit? So goodbye. All right, let's move on. McDonald's make a ton of shit of money, but you still pay for their burgers. Subscription fee, even if low, is the best. Filth filter. I like that, actually. I really like that. That's awesome. All right. Come on, 220 watching and only 14 likes. We can do better. Andy Zhao, Trump now tied with Harris on Real Clear Politics. Is he really? We do have economic data. We're going to jump to that right now, and then I'll get caught back up with chat real quick here. But wow, that's crazy, dude. That's crazy. Oh, thank you for upgrading your membership, Alan. I really appreciate that. Dude, that is nuts. That is nuts. Trump has an 8-point lead. It was 7.9 versus Biden in 2020, right? Biden in 2020 was up 8 points at that time. He won the election by 4.5. At the very end, his Real Clear polling was 7.2. And so it was still off by, almost 3 points in the end towards a bias towards Joe Biden. And now Trump is tied with Kamala Harris at a national level. And I can only imagine what the states look like. We'll check those later. Let's get over. We got Rick getting ready to rant. It's my favorite part of the day. A little Rick Santelli warming things up, getting people going. Let's listen to him real quick here as soon as we refresh. All right, good old Ricky Bobby. He's in the house. Let's do this. Almost. Getting close. Awkward silence. Here we go.
Welcome back to Squawk Box. Rick Santelli here live from CME HQ with the breaking news of the morning. As we get ready to go in the weekend, these are durable goods. September preliminary, a volatile series of data points. Headline number expected down 1% is down 0.8%, down 0.8. That's the weakest since June when it was down 6 points.
Sorry to interrupt. I just saw in chat. Who was that? Ryan O'Malley, $100 tip. My portfolio has doubled in less than a year. Thanks for your insight. Dude, thank you so much. That's really generous, man. I appreciate it. And I'm happy to serve, man. I very much am.
0.9, and that was the weakest in basically 4 years. Last month was 0, unchanged, and that now becomes minus 0.8 as well. Back to back. But here's the good news and why rates are going up a bit. If you strip out transportation, it leaps up 0.4%.
You know what that tells us? That tells us traditional auto is screwed.
0.4%, and that follows up 0.5% that got upgraded up 0.6. So that's pretty good news. Now let's look at capital good orders. Non-defense ex-air proxy for capital spending up 0.5%, much better than expected. That is the strongest number since up 0.6 in June, and that was the strongest going all the way back to August of last year. And finally, let's switch gears from orders to shipments, down 0.3%. That's not good. Down 0.3. Last month was down 0.1. The month before that was down 0.4. So shipments have definitely been a little bit on the weak side. So that gives us kind of a glimpse of the difference between the order book and what's going out the door, something to pay attention to. We see that yields have popped up a bit. We're hovering just around 421, which means we're up a baker's dozen on 10s of the week, up 13 basis points. If you look at 2-year at 406, it's up 11 basis points. And we see that the pre-opening equities are holding their green on these data points. We still have University of Michigan October final read. And, you know, as everybody seems to be talking about the Fed.
I'll do my analysis in a second, too. I just want to hear Rick's take.
The election's coming up on the 5th, the Fed meeting 6th and 7th. I would like to point out that Wednesday of next week, we get our first look at third quarter GDP. And while everyone's trying to handicap how much the Fed's going to cut rates, we're staring down a 3% quarter. Joe, that seems pretty good. What do you think?
I think we have weirdly, don't we have a jobs number on the 1st, even though it's a Friday? And we'll get that before the election, too.
Yes, before the election. Hey, any big thoughts as we get this close to the election? Any more Russian stories popping out anywhere with
I love Rick.
regard to the major newspapers around the country? Anything weird going on in that kind of last week?
It is October.
I love Rick so much.
In October, it just like we know Halloween's coming, we know there's a lot of surprises coming. Wasn't I think the DUI was like in October too, wasn't it? I think Hillary Comey, that was October.
But I would just make one point about these stories.
Yeah, you go ahead and engage Rick, because I don't want
Back in the day, the Comey news ended up in the New York Times.
Oh, this is going to be good. This is good Friday morning stuff going on right now, guys.
Newspapers to apologize to the country about keeping us under a Russian thumb for 2.5 years because they point out some of the inaccuracies of late.
This is going to be good.
You know, is not in some gossip rag. It's in the Wall Street Journal. So I don't know what to make of it all.
Oh boy, that means a lot these days, Andrew.
Glass houses.
Rick?
Is that supposed to mean something special?
Andrew?
Joe's egging it on.
No newspapers are what they used to be, that's for sure.
I got a new mug. I got a bunch of new mugs.
Oh my goodness gracious! I'm glad you work for a news organization. Okay, let's.
This is. I have to end this, and I will. Thanks, Rick. Steve Leisman joins us now.
Oh, Rick, we love you, brother.
A couple things. We've had a pretty good run on investment in the.
Now you don't get him started either. Leisman sometimes will poke the bear. This could get interesting
In this country, and we have a bit of distortion. Who actually knows what's going on at Boeing? If you have a chance, ask Phil what's happening. Apparently they had a good month with orders, but they put some numbers, according to industry publications,
nobody cares about Boeing.
Orders for cancellation. So I'm not sure what's going on there. We dodged a bullet. There were some people out there thinking there's going to be a much bigger decline because of Boeing. Boeing is a huge part of this thing, which is why when Mr. Santelli, my good colleague from Chicago, reads it's non-defense capital goods ex-aircraft because of the volatility in that, and the new orders for that was up 0.5. We're going to have a pretty big number in that 3Q GDP report when it comes to investment spending. Why? All this AI. We have some transportation spending going on.
Joseph Mock from your Discord yesterday at 1:10 p.m. Don't see any daily trades since October 11th. Yeah, you must be missing something. So, I mean, I would go to the today's trade section, and then I would look at this one from October 24th. But that was at 2 p.m., so you probably missed it by 50 minutes. So, but they're all there. I post them.
It has not been a bad story, but there is this other issue I want to talk about. I don't know if you remember Brian Sullivan's report from earlier this morning. He talked about the uncertainty that might come along with the election. We can actually document that from our CNBC All-America Economic
ahead
Poll.
of the election. He was
Ahead of the election.
Yeah.
Check it out. We have a number. We ask people, what do you think about the economy? Going to get better? Going to get worse? Or are you unsure? This is the unsure average of the past 4 elections in the CNBC All-America Economic Survey.
Wow.
It jumps by 11 points when we ask people what's going to happen with the economy.
Might actually be holding out.
18.
Yeah, so they're indicating here that pre-election people are worried about the economy, and so they're waiting to purchase until after.
18% compared to the average of the prior 4 quarters. So I said, let's put it in context.
90%.
And then let's see what the average is over the time we've been doing this since 2007. And here's your elections by the last 4 elections here. You can see this is not, I don't know why, it's always the same 10, 11 percentage points. It's always the same. But you can see 2016, which makes sense when Donald Trump was running, that was the most economic uncertainty we had. Less so this time. But there is a measurable amount of economic uncertainty that comes in our last track before the election. Now, I can.
Is that just because if it's the uniparty, it's going to be the same either way, Democrat or Republican?
That's a great question,
if it's
Joe.
Trump, it's different.
Well, if you put that chart back up, folks in the back,
Because
there's
it
no
doesn't matter.
change.
It really doesn't.
No change in the gap on incumbency or not.
Well, I think
Right? 2012 was an.
This is interesting, but I think we moved on from what I was looking to understand more about, which is the economic data. So we're going to go into the economic data more in a second here. Let me just get caught up with chat a little bit more. So morning, Jesse from Lara Beach. Morning, Manny. What's up, dude? Crypto Analyzer, ready for CleanSpark offering today, boys? Yes, I am. And we'll keep an eye on what's going on real quick here. Let me just hop over. We'll do this again. We'll pop this over. We'll move this over. We'll keep an eye on Bitcoin. And we'll keep an eye on what's going on in the market. So again, Tesla down still. That's about it. Cypher down. I don't even know if there's going to be a dip. I think CleanSpark is artificially low and should be going higher. But we'll see. Dario says his SoFi call option is doing great. Awesome. Glad to hear it, man. Kyle Wright, do you think we'll see lower prices on Chinese goods in the short term here in the USA? Also, screw div. I do think that we'll see lower prices. I think that's part of it, right? So I don't know if we'll see it so much in the USA, but we'll see competition in China for companies that are trying to survive. And there's parts of the world that are definitely shrinking or seeing less economic activity. And so there's going to be more pressure applied to Chinese manufacturers and producers to work against each other in order to try and get business. And that will work against other companies in the world too. So you'll actually see, we've got, even though we're talking about tariffs to penalize China from dumping products like EVs, well, you'll see that goods all in all should get cheaper across the world because China's going to dump more, and they'll be desperate. And I don't know with the tariffs offsetting that. I don't know how much we'll see for cheaper goods here in the United States. But either way, we're going to see a rocket launch in assets and wealth creation and growth if Trump wins. And now that we're seeing a tie between Trump and Harris, I'm real clear of politics. That's just damning. So he's going to win this election. The question is if they let him take office, and I think that's going to be really hard for them not to do. So it's going to be very interesting. The next several weeks are going to be very fascinating. Time direction volatility. NIM was crushed on earnings. Seems a bit overdone, frankly. We can take a look at that a little bit later. Mike says, watching from Taiwan. Thanks for all the data. You're welcome. Again, Ryan, thank you so much for that $100 super tip. And then Mike Lau, can we listen to the Ross Gerber interview? We are going to, actually. I do have that. I will definitely talk to it. Alan, good morning from Canada. Work has value. Pay the man. Socialists want everything for free, right? And here's the deal. If you don't actually have to give me anything. Just hit the like button. Half of you guys can't even hit the like button. I spend 4 to 5 hours a day doing live streams Monday through Friday to give you guys information so that you don't have to do the work. And I've got a really high accuracy for predictions and I'm effective at the information that I give you. I give you the good stuff, okay, the cream of the crop, and you can't even hit the like button. So it doesn't surprise me that people like Dib exist who don't want to spend the price of a fucking McDonald's value meal to support my work. That doesn't surprise me at all. All right. Looking for group, Ryan. Meme Wolf of Wall Street. Looking for group. Thank you, Victor. Cybertime. Do you think Tesla can go through 260 or need some time? It might need a day. Maybe a couple days. Justin, do you have your morning coffee with you? I do, right? In the most epic of ways. Supporting my true Viking heritage. Actually, I'm Scottish. Whatever. Were they Vikings? I don't know. All right. Walter Bryan, what is your price target for Sol? You know, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. I might even look at Sol right now because, yeah, let's do it. I did. I had my buddy James send me some of his proprietary information. He told me not to share it, so I'm not going to share it. But it definitely gives me some insight into his Sol strategy, and it's pretty brilliant. Do you guys have a good Sol strategies? You know, the company. Do you guys have a good Sol strategies nav, like chart ticker type thing that I can refer to? Does anybody have that? If you do, I want to see it. I could ask James too, but if you guys have that, that would be amazing. So what is my price target for Solana? Well, I've got pretty stupid high price targets for Solana, and I don't know if we'll reach it. There's a lot that happens. The question is, can it flip Ethereum? If it can flip Ethereum, it gets weird. But I don't think it would be crazy for Solana to get to $1,000. I don't think that would be crazy at all. Maybe it could even get to 1,400. That would be a little crazier. Because it's a large market cap. I think it's like 80 billion right now. Let's just go over here and look. What do our crypto bubbles tell us today? I mean, it's a fraction of ETH, right? It's $81 billion for the market cap. Ethereum is 306 billion. But I do believe there's a strategic chance that we'll see this thing break above and potentially flip Ethereum. If that happens, that's going to be nuts. It's a weird call to even make that, but I do think there's a possibility. There we go. Gary Corrett, smash the like as soon as you open the live stream. Thanks, dude. I appreciate you, brother. And thanks for 3 months of your patronage. I appreciate it. Render OG says, of Solana goes to 1,000, Render's mooning. I think Render will do really well. Render #1 AI play on Solana and Deppin. Yeah, I believe it, man. BGZ, what's up, people? Mike Lauk, I would imagine BlackRock is pushing MSFT to buy BTC. Oh, that's an article we have to talk about too. Shareholders are trying to push for Microsoft to buy Bitcoin. That's pretty crazy. Logan says Ross Gerbil is going to need to wear more makeup to cover up his tears from Tesla shares ripping up. Clown. I agree. MSTX is 50-50 pre-market. Let's see here. Yeah, we're going to see. We got some fly-in today. I don't know why. Baba's probably just going up because of the Chinese stimulus. We'll talk about that too. But there's a lot of flyers today, guys. We're going to make so much money. Toby171, thank you very much for being a member. James said the premium is down to 200% from 500. They increased their Sol holding. Do we know of a tracker for it? He told me that too, but do we have a tracker for it, guys? If you guys have a tracker, let me know. If anybody has like a URL or something. You know what? Let me just look. There's got to be something out there. Sol strategies. NAV premium tracker. Melind, thank you very much for joining as a member. I appreciate you, sir. Yeah, I know the stock ticker, Dennis. I appreciate that. It's here in the United States, it's CYFRF. I do have that, but I'm looking for here we go. What is this? Fund my portfolio. No, I don't care about your portfolio tracker. I don't want Sol Strategies is invested in the. If anybody finds, I'm going to add Sol Strategies, guys. Let's pull up this ticker real quick. We're going to do this. So I believe I've already added CYFRF. Oh, maybe I haven't. What is it? CYFRF. Okay, so let's add that. We're going to add this ticker. We're going to add a channel real quickly in the Discord. And if anybody, since we're all about figuring stuff out together as a community, and I don't have to do all the heavy lifting. Let's do that. Let's figure this out together. Let's see if we can find a tracker for the NAV premium for Soul Strategies. Again, it had this insane launch, which is why I didn't want to be a part of it. Because everybody got excited after James made a bunch of money off it, and then everybody starts talking about it. But if the NAV is really back down to 2, and with the strategy he's talking about from the sheet that he sent me, I could see this thing going higher. And so I'm interested in it, but I need to have a tracker. I want to be able to know day to day what's going on with this. But yeah, people that were invested in this, you can see there's no volume over here. Look at this, just piddly price, like just bouncing all over the place. And the premium was like 500-600% or something, just a stupid number. This thing went up 25% yesterday. Average volume 30 days is 1.16 million. Yesterday's volume was 5.24. Market cap's 144 million. But very interested to find a ticker on this thing. Very, very interested. How can you connect to Discord? Discord is this, guys. It's underneath. I probably need to add it higher in my description, but that's the Discord. It's wap.com/micro to macro. I use that service because they charge like nothing for a fee. It's like a 3% fee on the $5 that you pay, which is just unheard of. Most of these places like X, if you guys subscribe through mobile, they take 30% right away every month of the fee. So it sucks, actually. If you guys unsubscribe through mobile and then resubscribe through the desktop, it helps the channel a lot. You're basically giving us an extra $1.50 a month, almost. So it's or I should say, yeah, at least $1.50 a month. So it's much better that way to support the channel. But this is a company. This Soul Strategies one is something I'm definitely interested in now. We're going to copy this link. We're going to hop over to the Discord. We're going to add it. So you guys will have this in here. FRF, Soul Strategies. All right, so that channel's in there now. CY, FRF, chart. I might have to say Jesse's chart in case we end up pinning more in here from different people. If anybody else ends up sharing stuff along the way, I might have to relabel some of these in the future. But we're going to start doing this. When we get excited about stocks, oh, hey, we got the former head of the SEC here talking about debating America's economic future with some guy who looks like a dildo. Very interesting, though. I want to see what they're saying. I used to hate this guy, but I love him now. So I want to see. Because he didn't support Bitcoin back in the day, but now he's totally a Bitcoin proponent. He's all over the place with it. And I don't know who the Yahoo is next to him, but let's see what they have to talk about. Let me go back further. The guy on the right looks super dopey. I'm just going to say it. All right, we'll let that run in a second here. Just going to keep flipping through. What are your thoughts on buying into strength? I normally am not a big buyer into strength. I'm a buyer of dips and then enjoy the ride on strength. But, man, I'll take whatever, you know. Chicken Bro tonight. Oh, it's tonight? It's tonight? It depends on what's going on with the fam. If there's nothing crazy going on with the fam tonight, guys, I will probably be hosting that. With Trump and Rogan. I mean, it's just pretty cool. I'm going to watch it anyway, so I might as well share. Thoughts on OSDI or GSOL or versus CYFRF? I think CYFRF is better. I think it's better. It might have been blocked temporarily because of the massive increase. But I think it's better, but I also need to make sure that I understand the premium and have a good tracker. Otherwise, I don't feel confident about it. Time is the most valuable currency, says Chris. I agree. Oak says, oh, here we go.
And our next guests are here to sound off on taxes, the national debt, other hot economic issues ahead of the election. And they did, just like they did in a recent New York Times piece, let's welcome former SEC Chairman Jay Clayton. He's Apollo independent chair and a CNBC contributor, and Justin Wolfers, a public policy and economics professor at the University of Michigan's Ford School. And
no wonder he looks like a douche. He's a professor.
Initially, I thought just you and Justin had gotten together and written a piece, and I was like, this is This is like antimatter matter. This is like cats and dogs, like living together. But Justin, you wrote it with Betsy Stevenson on your side, and you had Cohn on your side. So you didn't write it together. Have I got that right now, Jay? Is that how it happened?
Well, we wrote back and forth. We didn't write it together, but it was fun. We had a surprisingly good time doing it.
What did we, Justin? Is if you could pick one thing that you, since we're all coming together someday. What did you come to get? Was there any agreement anywhere? Maybe we have to. We all agree we need some good growth to try to help with the deficit or the debt, the total debt. Did you at least agree on that, Justin?
I think actually there's enormous agreement across both of us. So I'm going to invite Jay to help me here, emphasise the huge agreement. So
horrible, Mike.
Let me start with something I think neither of us said, but we probably both felt. Which is, this is the most depressing economic policy debate before an election in my lifetime.
Yeah.
There was a time when candidates would put out very serious and detailed proposals. There was a time they meant it. There was a time that they addressed things like the public debt. There was a time they hoped that the math would add up. There was a time when they remembered their policies well enough they didn't have to be written on the screen behind them. And so there's a seriousness to the real issues of economics that I feel that this election campaign simply hasn't lived up to.
Is that an area of agreement, Jay?
Well, quickly, yes. And one of the things that's unfortunate is tariffs are either good or bad. Taxes are either good or bad. And we've had. I applaud this show because you've actually. And yesterday I saw Howard on here, Howard Lutnick. And you were quizzing about when are tariffs good and when are they bad. Sometimes they're really good, and sometimes they don't make sense. But we are having a much richer debate on this show than anywhere else. Like tariffs, subsidies, taxes, restrictions, they're all part of the same ball of wax. It's much more complicated, and it will be very good for the American public recognizes this. The American public is a lot smarter than we give them credit for. They know that there's some places where tariffs make a lot of sense. And they know that there's some places where they don't.
Justin, earlier this week, we have gone back and forth on whether it's a spending or a tax problem. And we have had some people say, look, we're basically at 18% in what we collect. And we used to be at 19% of what we spend, and it was only a point difference, and that was almost manageable. Now we're so out of control because we're still at 18% collecting, but we're at 23, headed to 24 on the spending. But there's still plenty of people that just want to stay at 23 or 24 and just, I don't know, tax billionaires, or I don't know what they want to do. They want to find the taxes to keep spending at 23.5. What do you want to do?
Look, mate, I think I want to restore some fairness to the system. The problem is, I think a lot of us would feel a lot happier and a lot more comfortable feeling paying if it didn't feel like some other guy was getting a free ride that he shouldn't be getting. The fact that there are billionaires paying less tax than me as a percent of income really pisses me off. The fact that Republicans decided that they wanted to defund the tax police, therefore effectively giving a tax break to, I think, the least deserving people in society, which is tax cheats, it really frustrates the hell out of me. The fact that there's a carried interest loophole so that people can earn a ton of money and then pass it on to their kids without ever paying tax on it, it's incredibly frustrating. So let's restore trust in the system. Let's make...
How about we lower taxes? How about we lower taxes and let people pass on money to future generations so that everybody isn't restarting over again like a fucking gerbil? Okay? Do we have to have gerbils in a cage constantly? We have a completely new world being built because of people like Elon Musk, where GDP can be printed, and we can literally have an age of abundance. Why are we talking so much about heavy taxation? This guy is a professor for a reason, okay? Most professors, not all of them, because I've got friends that are professors, some of them watch this. You definitely are not. But most professors, they're professors because they can't do, okay? This guy couldn't get a job in the real world, so he had to be a professor. So I'm sorry, though, railing on heavier taxes is such a stupid thing. That might have made more sense a while ago. And definitely the tax code system is way too complicated and gives tons of loopholes for the wealthy. That's all true. That's by design. Both Democrats and Republicans by design, okay, to be very, very clear. But in the new world, that isn't a thing anymore. So get over it.
Make it a whole lot fairer. There used to be a metric.
You agreed with all that, Jay? This was another area of agreement?
Yeah, right, Scott?
You found an area of disagreement.
Here we go.
Yeah, let's talk about the IRS and this 85,000 new IRS employees. This is one of the most ridiculous proposals I've ever heard. We have an antiquated IRS, okay? We probably need 20,000 less employees. This is where Elon Musk is right. You had Lonsdale.
There we go. I love Jay.
The IRS is still using pen and paper to review.
This guy is so much. I never would have thought this back in the day. I thought Gary Gensler was going to be the great hope for Bitcoin and the future of the United States because Jay Clayton was anti-Bitcoin. But once Jay Clayton left office, he started working for Bitcoin firms. And he totally flipped in his approach and it has just been awesome. And Gary Gensler, the guy who was teaching classes about Bitcoin and talking about how wonderful it could be, he turned into the devil. So it's funny how it works when they become the SEC chairman. I don't know quite why that is. Maybe it's because of conflict of interest and trying to, I don't know. But it's awesome, his stance now and how true he is.
Our taxes. We have a digital
Mr. Burns. He's definitely Mr. Burns from The Simpsons. It's frightening how close he is.
Economy. We can do this with software, with AI, and eliminate virtually all cheating in a digitized economy. Okay?
Jay, I don't disagree with that, but my question is about what kind of investment that requires. And I think you would agree, if you were a business of some sort, you would invest at some level in revenue collection, meaning like if you were not collecting the revenue in a timely or proper way, you would figure out a way to collect that revenue from people who are supposed to be paying you.
Do you think that's more people or better systems?
You tell him. You tell him.
Will bet you, dollars to donuts.
Probably a combination of those things.
No
Don't
way.
you think?
No way.
No way.
You don't think that there's a mix?
No. I mean,
this is why Andrew Sorkin is a newscaster and not somebody who works at a business.
Think about,
because we're talking about people who are actively who are trying to break the rules.
We have all these Wall Street firms.
Right.
If any of them was still running on pen and paper, they'd be out of business in a day.
Yeah.
Technology is a huge piece of this.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not going to debate that.
Other countries do this much better than we do. We have an
just like voting.
Incredibly antiquated system. I'm going to be quite provocative here. I think those 85,000 new agents, new employees, are 85,000 government voters who will continue to vote for big government.
I don't want to take this sidetrack on the IRS.
Very well done.
Would you try to make it easier for taxpayers to pay?
Yes.
Of course.
Okay. The reason I mention that is there have been lots of efforts put forward to literally make it so that the form is easy. You can go on digitally and do it for free, all sorts of things. And the truth is that the group of people who have been...
Has anybody had an issue trying to figure out how to pay their taxes? They offer like 20 fucking ways to do it.
Outspoken against it have been Republicans, in part because they have historically tried to avoid collecting. That's what's happened.
Let's be clear.
Them wanting lower taxation is not trying to avoid collecting taxes.
We have the most compliant citizenry on taxes in the world.
There you go, Jay.
We should celebrate that. And
compliant because of the W-2 system.
And who runs the W-2 system?
The IRS.
No. Employers run the W-2 system. The private sector runs the best part of our tax collection mechanism.
Love it.
They do it, and they do it electronically.
Yep, it's an automated system.
The whole IRS should move to that type of system.
How do you want to tax billionaires, Jay?
Nice.
How do you want to tax? That's Justin's big thing. He doesn't like billionaires paying less than. It's always the same.
Okay,
teachers and I don't know.
How are we going to tax, billionaires?
Yep.
If you confiscated their wealth, it would not solve your 19 to 24% problem. Right?
Wouldn't hurt.
Oh, that's great. We should take everybody's money.
Yeah, right.
And
Jay, how do you feel that we paid more tax than Trump did last year, mate?
Look, I pay, and I'm you know what? I'm happy to pay. I pay my marginal rate. I'm in New York. I've got no SALT deduction. I've got nothing. I'm happy to pay. My problem is what they do with the money. That's my big problem. And I believe in Musk and DOGE,
Thank you,
Department
Peter.
of Government Efficiency. We can do a
But
whole
you
lot
care
better.
that other people are paying a lot less than you who make more than you.
You know what? I think the tax code's pretty fair. Having the top 1%,
So that
what do they
doesn't
pay?
bother you. The people who are paying, who make materially more than you and pay a materially lower.
It depends on what we're talking about. Some of the people that you're talking about are running businesses. And like Elon Musk, he's putting all of his capital back into businesses. He has no yachts. He has no mansions. He literally is putting it all back in, and all that stuff, all that technology. If you guys have read The Price of Tomorrow from Jeff Booth, drives down the cost of everything and benefits all of humanity at the same time, giving them better products at cheaper prices. So you want billionaires in this world that are doing a great job reapplying capital. You don't want leeches in the system, but the entire tax code is built for rich people to avoid paying taxes. All of it. Yeah, Musk paid $3 billion in taxes in one. He paid $12 billion or some shit, man. It was way more than 3.
Percentage
The largest tax bill in history on the planet for anybody.
of their taxes. Just on a.
I don't lose any sleep over it.
You lose no sleep over it. That's
No.
interesting. Okay.
Well, it's not income though, right? They make more by taking loans against their stock. Those are the people that you're talking about. So when you say they're not paying
they make
lower on
money
the income they're
dividends. They
taking.
make money on dividends or other ways.
Or they run an S corporation, and they take every deduction that is known to man.
Let me tell you what I really think about taxes and things. I've worked all over the world. I'm super privileged, seen growth and things like that. There's kind of a natural rate of taxation. It's about 1/3. People who pay 1/3, they're fine with it. When you start asking people to pay more of 1/3 of their income, they get a little bit more upset. Less than 1/3 doesn't really work. Start with that.
Justin, if you were king and you were able to do it however you wanted to billionaires, that ain't gonna do it. You run out of billionaires. Are trying to. How do you make up for the rest of the tax? Would you just raise marginal rates on everyone, or would you cut any spending? Would you try to do anything with all the transfer payments, all the welfare?
Oh, look, there's a lot that can be done, and you and I aren't going to solve it in the next 2 or 3 minutes.
So no answer.
There's definitely some spending that could be cut. Remember, the old Republican mantra is one worth remembering. It used to be broaden the base and lower the rate. The broaden the base part, this was the mathematics of it, which is it turns out there's so much stuff that we don't tax,
Heinz.
so many loopholes, so many ways of reducing your tax bill, that if we start to go back and tax those things again, then there's going to be a whole lot more money left in the pot. You could
There's none. It doesn't pay anything. You could wipe out the billionaires, guys, and all you'd have? Unemployment. All the jobs would go away because if they're not making money, you see a contraction in the economy and a downward spiral. Everybody starts losing their fucking jobs until all of a sudden the government decides that they want growth and they don't want people starving to death. And they change their policies, lower taxes, and encourage growth. Okay? Whether that's by defaulting or whatever. This happens all the time. Civilizations all throughout the world, all throughout history, follow this same path. So how about being pro-growth at a time when artificial intelligence, robotics, and autonomy, and genomics, and everything will create an age of abundance to where you don't even have to worry about fucking taxes in the future because they'll be like 5%. How about that world where we don't have to take the wealth away from people that worked their entire lives to earn it and pass it on to the people they love so that they don't have to struggle the same way they did? I'm trying to create generational wealth for my bloodline and my friends. I don't want it to go away to dipshits who will pay 100 times what something is worth and waste it all. Okay? I want more efficient government. I want less taxation, and I want Star Trek. I want an age of abundance. And you know who's going to give that to us? Elon Musk with the help of Donald Trump. Not this commie bastard fucking ponytail professor piece of shit. Sorry, I'm done.
either use that for spending, or Republicans used to want to use that for lowering the rate. Instead, what we've got now is absolutely silly ideas. I mean, the idea that
He acts like Republicans are the only ones that have complicated this tax code. It's complicated deliberately. Democrats aren't looking to fix it. All the rich suck off these tax deductions, okay? All of them.
we should not tax overtime.
There's 4-to-1 donations right now of Democrats donating to Kamala Harris versus conservatives donating to Donald Trump. So the rich are the Democrats. They're not on your side. If you're thinking they're going to eat the rich, they are the rich. They're them.
Terrific idea. I'm going to my employer next week and I'm going to say to the University of Michigan, I'm going to work 0 hours this week and 80 hours next week. That makes half of my income now overtime, and I've got a huge tax break out of that. This is the exact opposite of what Republicans used to believe in.
Yeah, look, you know what's funny in this tax debate?
You get him, Jay.
And then I want to go on to something else, is hearing people say we should restore the full SALT deduction, okay? What that means is that people in New York who fund the federal government are going to pay less than people in Texas for federal funding. Shouldn't people who make the same around the country fund the government the same? Look,
I love Jay Clayton.
it would be great for me if we restored the SALT deduction, but I don't think that's right. I think that for funding the federal government, you know, I work in New York, I should pay the same amount as somebody who works in Florida.
Yes.
To fund the federal government. Now, the fact that my state government costs 3 times as much for the same services makes me a little bit angry. But we should deal with that at the state level, not by giving people an extra SALT deduction.
Okay.
Good job,
I
Jay.
thought you were going to move on. I didn't know where you were moving, but now they told me we're moving on to a commercial. So,
Well,
yeah.
you know, I want to.
Good job, Jay. I love this man.
Look, in our article,
Yeah,
we
do
say
your
one
thing.
thing really important. Yeah, which is the policies that Justin is advocating for are European policies. Lena Khan is European policies. The administrative state is European policies.
Oh, boy.
Europe over the last 20 years has grossly underperformed the U.S. We have a real live experiment about these policies. We should look at Europe and say, you know what? That's not what we want.
Great wine, Justin. Great, rich, creamy sauces, though, in France. I mean, there's a lot. In
Yeah, go there on vacation. You don't want to live there.
Italy. Who doesn't want to hang out in Italy? I mean, who cares about the tax system anyway?
Great place to visit.
It is. Great. Jay, thank you. Justin, thank you. A lot of great things over there, except the economy.
Yeah, except the economy.
Coming up, top stocks to watch as we head towards the final opening bell of the week on Wall Street. Stay tuned.
All right,
Watch
guys,
us
we got
walk.
19
This
minutes
is
until the bell opens.
CNBC.
I'm going to silence these guys for a little bit. That was fun. I love Jay Clayton. He is a true patriot and an American, and he's great. Bart, thank you for joining, my friend. Yeah, so let's keep moving on here. So let's see. I want to check other stuff. Let's see how commodities are doing today. Let's see how the indices. We'll check indices in a second. But let's look at the dollar. See how we're performing. See how that's performing around. Oh, hey, wow, magic, guys. Magic again. Isn't it weird? Let's just look here. Oh, wait, isn't technical analysis astrology for men? Isn't that true? Oh, wait, but this thing here, this previous support line on the weekly time frame is magically turning into resistance for the dollar, just like I professed it to be. Maybe there is truth here because we went right to where I said we were going to go on the dollar, and now we're rejecting on the weekly chart and going to close underneath of this. Isn't that fascinating? But I guess it's just guessing in astrology. Let's look at the rest here. So the U.S. against the yen, we're seeing a slight uptick, but again, not much different. We're still a little bit off the highs yesterday. No carry trade unwinding right now, and I don't think we're going to see that remotely. I've got reasons why. We might talk about them today. The Chinese yuan. The dollar has strengthened by 0.07. Again, a minuscule amount. We'll see where we head. The ruble. So we had the big BRICS meeting yesterday. It looks like we're potentially going to try and get above this trend line and have a breakout where the dollar is gaining against the ruble. I think that's likely. The BRICS meeting was a big nothing burger. India played both sides of the trade. They're really good at that. Modi's actually really good about that. We're seeing the dollar gain 0.53% against the ruble. Russia, Putin is still in pain. He's not dying of a disease like people talked about forever. Everybody was like, "Oh, look how weak he is. He's like shaking. His stuff doesn't work." That was all a lie. I mean, he looks like he's in great health, at least for now. He'll probably be dead in 10 years. I don't know why we're really worried about him attacking other parts of Europe. That's just not going to happen. He's going to have a lot of rebuilding to do because their economy is falling apart. Ooh, this is amazing. Seasonals. Really? Oh, God. TradingView just gets so much cooler. Fascinating. It shows, oh, that's cool, man. It's showing year over year and kind of giving you a seasonal play. So it's saying that the put-call ratio might, well, at least in 2022, rose up. I don't think we're in a 2022, so I don't know how helpful this is right now, but it's fascinating to see. Puts are still very, very low. I think that continues. Like I've said in here, I've shown it multiple times. We can have 2008 to 2011, 2011 to 2014, 2015 to 2019. You can have anywhere from, on average, a 3-year time frame where once we have these blow-off tops in the level of puts to calls, we see a bunch of time before it ends up playing, before it plays out. And we started in November of 2022, so really 2023, 2024, so about a year and a half in or something like that. And this is the largest impulse around. So I say we have at least a year and a half of just down chop on puts while the markets go up. That's been my thesis for a while. I'm not changing it. I think this is very, very true. Real quickly, I just want to see how Tesla's doing. Then we'll get caught up in chat. Tesla down 1.64%. Again, I still think that's super healthy, guys. SoFi up 3.2. You know what we didn't do? You know what we didn't do that I need to do? We got CNBC's take on economic data, but that's only so valuable, right? Let's get my take. So leading economic indicators in Japan show that Japan is falling off a cliff, at least in regard to the leading economic indicator. We're at 106.9, the lowest level since 2020, bouncing out of the pandemic. If we go to the 10-year here. So this isn't great. Again, it's not completely falling off a cliff. You can see where it was in precarious position before the pandemic, right? It was at 104. But this is not what Japan wants to see. They're seeing a lot of weakness. We could look at Hood. Yeah, give me a sec. We'll go over economic data here first. And then we got the Bell in 14. So that's not looking good, right? We already talked about Germany and the fact that their conditions are improving. But if we look over here, they're just not great. Again, you look over here, at least things were looking good until about 2018. That was the euro was much stronger. It's just falling off a cliff. Even without the pandemic, it's basically continuing its trend down into the abyss. Germany is a prime example of why that long-haired, ponytailed, Ted Waite Gateway CEO looking motherfucker is completely wrong. Okay? Is completely wrong about taxation and how to manage an economy. And that's why he's a professor. So Germany has so many problems. We already talked about foreign direct investment. Let's look at this other data from Canada real quick. Canada, new housing price index month over month is 0%. It was supposed to be 0.1 and 0.2. So prices are falling in Canada. If we look at the year over year, it has 0.2% versus 0.1. So the month over month shows falling, but the year over year shows increases. But you got to realize this thing fell off a cliff and then was negative for a while. And it's slowly ticking up, not quite the way that the United States is. I could see as rates are coming down, I could see these housing prices roll over in the future. That's my bet. Retail sales, ex autos, are negative 0.7%. They were forecast to be 0.3. Can you see how? I mean, this isn't a great indication for just broader retail sales for Canada. This is one of the lowest numbers they've seen since July of 2022. And it's not a good trend. It shows how Canada, look at this, guys. They had positive growth all the way through here for the most part, right? You can see a little bit of negativity in 2018. That was about the time we were having a hiccup too. And then there's the pandemic, right? But look at what's happened the last year or so. It's falling. If you look over here and you draw a line, it's falling and it's bad. Canada is bad. Their immigration is bad. They've just let the floodgates open. And then at the same time, the retail sales numbers, ex autos, do not look good. They were also 0.1% lower for forecast and consensus when looking at month over month. It's 0.3, so it had an impulse higher, but it's still lower than expectations. Manufacturing sales month over month, it was supposed to be 0.4%. It's negative 0.8. So again, just a trend that is starting to go under into not growth, but the opposite of growth. And you don't want to see that if you're Canadian. You don't want to see that, man. Trudeau is an idiot. Trudeau will lose his position or Canada will fail. Retail sales year over year, 1.4% versus 1.1%. So again, if you change the data, it looks a little bit better. But man, look over here though. Look at where we were before. Look at some of these retail sales numbers in the 6-7%. Look at where they are now. Just non-existent. This is why you look at the charts, guys. Because you could look at this and be like, oh, retail sales better than expected Canada. Good stuff. But when you actually look and you use that visual point of reference and you increase the time horizon so that you can see over years what the actual trend is, it's abysmal. This is why we do this. Okay? All right, let's get to the United States. Durable good orders month over month for September for the United States was lower than expected. Let's dial out here a little bit. So again, you can see a downward trend here as well too. Now the question is whether or not that changes, because there is some, at least more recently, some seasonality. Well, that's the 2008 Great Financial Crisis. We can't really call that. But you can see over here between like 2010 to 2014, you can see some of this going down. And then you can kind of see something going down and then popping up. But we're just going straight down. We did have a heck of an impulse, though, in July. So, honestly, this isn't horrible. This isn't horrible. With that 9% impulse in July, it maybe marks a turnaround, but we just don't have enough yet. It's still a downward trend. Durable orders. Oh, let me fix this real quick. Durable orders, ex transportation. So let's look at this number again. We know that we had revisions that were not great for some of this, but we see 0.4%. We were expecting negative numbers of 0.2 and 0.1. Let's go in here. And again, this is minus transportation. Yeah, so this is where we do see that uptick, guys. This is where we see it. Look over here. You can see very just a lot of chop, right? Isn't it amazing how the chop has disappeared in durable goods? Anyway, look at this. This is an upward trend line, right? We're starting to get into positive growth. We like that. We want to see that. So that's good. So minus transportation, minus everything that isn't Tesla. And again, just like if you take the transportation sector and you look at Tesla, it's going to look good. If you subtract Tesla, it's a disaster. And that's what this data is telling us. Durable goods orders minus defense were actually down. So we're spending a ton of money on the military. And I don't know. This was a downward trend, but again, I don't know if we're seeing a lot there. Non-defense goods orders except air. So non-defense. All right, so non-defense, I would argue that maybe we're seeing a turnaround here too. Again, higher lows, and it looks like we're getting ready to curl up. So this is interesting. Again, it's amazing how flat the data's gotten compared to what we used to see. It's almost like some of the data is being manipulated. All right, so what else do we still have? At 9 o'clock, we got Michigan data. So we're going to be looking for that. I'll definitely stick around for that. I'll probably head out a little bit after that, though. And then in about 8 minutes, we'll have the bell. All right, let me look real quickly and see what people have to say. Man, the way things are going, might consider moving to the U.S. You might have to. Let's see if Trump wins. I mean, he's going to win. Let's see if he can take power. Justin, MSTR, a future guy. Good morning, everybody. Bart, hey man, quick question. Do you watch or follow Matt Kors on YouTube? He's like very good trader and market analyst. I don't. Maybe I'll check him out, but I don't. PBT Malva Disco. Hi, what do you think about latest SoFi moves? I think it's powerful. It's trying to break over the next fib. Danny Colo, a good explanation of China's collapse. It gets way worse than that, but thank you. Life in Florida, can you look for Hood? Yeah, we can take a look at Hood real quick. Hood looks great. I mean, it looks great. And SoFi looks great. Again, it's pushing up against the next resistance line on the fib. But Hood is just being Hood. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Gotta fix this. Go back over here. All right. It's amazing. We're still almost 1,200 days from the all-time high on Hood. But yeah, Hood looks great. I just moved $420,000. Well, I don't know. I put in the request to move $420,000 last night. The number was just dumb luck. I moved a bunch of my position in my big ally account, so you'll see the number go down in that if this gets approved. I might move some money to SoFi. The thing I don't like about SoFi is they require direct deposit. I don't have direct deposit. I am not an employee. So that's kind of bullshit. I wish they would take just reoccurring deposits, because then I would dump in some money from like YouTube or X or WAP into there, but they don't do that. So whatever. So I probably won't transfer money over to SoFi. Anthony Noto, if you want to start getting more money, this is a crazy idea, but maybe you want to include just reoccurring deposits so that people that are influencers that can influence would actually have a reason to use your incentives, because your 1% match does nothing if I can't participate in it because I don't have a job. So I personally would want to get influencers to have incentives to push my products. It's crazy. I know. I do have YouTube deposits, but it doesn't work that way. They want you to put in an employer. They want you to put in an employer and like do the whole thing. It's like YouTube isn't my fucking employer. YouTube sends money. So they want to do like some deposit electronic, like ADP type system or some bullshit. And so I haven't found a way to get it to work. If you guys know of one, let me know. All right. But yeah, Hood looks great. Hood's on a road to 27, I'd say. 30 pretty easily. And it can go well beyond that, honestly. I think my low end target, just over the short term here, is probably about 34, 35. But honestly, I would be surprised if Hood doesn't go up to 77 this cycle at least, which is a 182% increase from where we're at. So I don't hate Hood. I'm a big fan of Hood. And you know what I should do? I should actually redraw this real quick. I'm going to put a trend-based extension in here, just super fast. 1 second here. So we'll go from here, because we know we found the bottom, right? Like that's pretty safe. So let's do this. So we could get some short term on here, again at like 28, probably 28.76. That's probably going to be the short term now, since we're using a trend-based fib extension, which is the right way to do it. We could see that. But the next step is right up here at the 34 range, like I was saying, the 34, 35, and then the next one will be at 44. So I'd be surprised, honestly, if by the early part of next year, maybe by the end of Q1, we're not at 44 on Hood. Someone clip that and send it to Noto. Yeah, again, if I'm wrong on it, let me know, guys. But I would love to promote SoFi more, but it's like I don't use the product that much. I do have like $20,000 in my investment account there, but I can't get the match on my cash. So like, why put cash in it, and why transfer IRAs if I can't get at least, a 2% with that additional 1% match because I don't have direct deposit? Like, why do that? And maybe I'm wrong, but the last time I tried it, I couldn't get it to work. Set up your LLC or S Corp, have a business banking account and direct deposit from. Yeah, that's just a lot of work. That's a lot of work that I'm not going to do. They should just make it easier. I could literally just start sending these things to SoFi. And I do, right? I have money that goes into my SoFi account every month from X. That's where I have it going. But you know what happens? It doesn't do anything to increase my offer. So who gives a shit? And I can make that a bigger amount. In fact, it will be a bigger amount, because I think right now I'm up to probably like $3,000 a month that will be coming from X. And but again, they don't do anything with it. So whatever. It's the one thing I hate about SoFi. I think I don't even hate their app, like their web app or their mobile app. But I just wish they would get smarter with how they do things. There's a few things like that with PayPal that annoy me too, right? Speaking of PayPal, how's PayPal looking? Well, let's take a look. Actually, let's look at markets real quick. So we still got SoFi up 3%, 3.1. Seems like things retraced a little bit from some of the weaker data. Hood is still up 1%. PayPal's up 1%. Not a bad way to start off the day. Looks like a lot of stuff is up today, honestly. Just scanning through here. Tesla's down 1.8%. Tesla could be down today. I think that's pretty normal, guys. When you go up 22% in a day, if you don't retrace a little bit, there's something wrong. Don't do options if you're a beginner. If you're a beginner, you should do baby steps into options. You should definitely watch my Options 101 video. All right, let's get ready for the bell, guys. I'm just going to refresh here. Also, my portfolio, guys, just as an update, sitting at about 3.5 million right now. I'd really like to break that 4 million mark in the next couple weeks.
Today, KeyBank cuts to underweight from sector.
And real here, I'll just mute him. And to be clear, my goal is to be at 6 million by the end of the year, at least 6 million, hopefully 7, but it might only be 6. But that's my goal. I set this a very, very long time ago. I'll show you guys. We have 1 minute. Let me just show you guys for the people that don't know. Okay. For the people that have not been here long, I set this a long time ago. Let me find it real quick here. It's in here somewhere. Right here, okay? So here's my projection of what I wanted. It's actually 6.5 million that I'd like to have as my low balance. This shows my lows for each year. I like tracking that better because it shows, I think, how you're really doing. And we'll jump here. We got 30 seconds until the bell. But my goal, I was down to 1.92 million in 2024 at the lowest of the low. But my goal is to have my low be 6.5 million in 2025. And then obviously after that, my low, I would hope for 13 to 15 million maybe in 2026, if that low. That's kind of the goal.
The world is sold a lot of Apple. Meantime, we're going to get earnings on Thursday. And, of course, the Apple Intelligence meeting on Monday, Jim, which will give us a little color.
Yeah, I think that you have to accept the fact that this cycle is not like any other cycle. And then it's just going to be, as they add, people like it a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. I know China's not that good, but China's been the death knell of everybody. I know
there's Soul Strategies, guys.
I know that Dave Tepper says, own it, don't trade it. But
it's up another 11% today.
If you sell in China, you're not selling.
Let's get the opening bell here in the CBC Real-Time Exchange. The big board OFG Bancorp, parent of the Oriental Bank of San Juan.
To be clear, guys, Soul Strategies was up 25% yesterday. Now it's bouncing between 10 and 20%. So there's some money coming into Soul Strategies. MicroStrategy. Wait, this can't be right. This can't be right. Is this not updated? Maybe it hasn't refreshed yet. Can't be right. There's no way. Okay, there we go. Better. So yeah, Soul Strategies is up 10%. SoFi's up 2.5%. Baba's up. People are so stupid. Oil's up, but that doesn't matter. It's going to roll over. Flux is up. MU's up. PayPal 1.23%. Nice. Meta at 1. Nvidia up a little bit. It's not a bad start to the day. Even a little TLT love. It looks like TLT probably found its bottom. I really think that's true. Tesla only down 1%. Wow. Down 0.81% on Tesla. Let's look at Tesla. Not hating that. Let's listen to these guys in the background a little bit too. We'll just turn them down.
Right. And so you're not going to be throwing up crap, frankly. You're going to be.
We'll let them kind of play in the background.
Really decent company.
In case something interesting happens, but let's just look over here.
Stop the charade and do deals at a lower price. Let's just get this done.
Fink was right here a couple weeks ago.
Only 0.68, guys. Tesla's already going up today.
I don't want to go inside Fink.
This is all. I look at that on that fib, guys. Look at this. Look at that, guys. That is some bull flag shit right there. Oh, I'm sorry. That was peak volume over that time frame. But still, 0.39, negative 0.39.
He made that clear there.
It's not true.
0.33, 0.31, 0.29, 0.28, 0.27, 0.25.
Alternative asset manager.
Oh, this is looking silly.
Private credit company.
I'm just going to put this over here. I think we're going to get a new...
And then
This is sick, guys. We're right at breaking points here. Look at this.
Companies that are not coming public, and I've made this point.
If we break 265, we're at the highest level
so they can stay private.
They're banks. The private creditor banks
since July of 2024. That would be huge. Because this is our big breakout, guys. This is the big breakout of the inverse head and shoulders. It's only down 0.18%.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, that's true, Dave. 270 is after 270, it's moon. 100%. Wow, what a day-to-day, guys. This is going to be crazy. But yeah, I was going to say this earlier. Let me pull up my account. It's already plus. We're plus. Tesla's plus. What the actual fudge? I made over almost $600,000 just off of Tesla yesterday, and I'm going to make more money today?
I don't know if you saw this piece on the tip regarding this Taiwan semi-Arizona plant.
All right, let me show you guys something real quick here.
4 points above its
what was I going to say in here? So yeah, oh yeah, I'm moving my Mara, my Iron,
How many people are in those plants?
my Flux, and my Bit Farms are all going over to Robinhood if it gets approved.
Yeah, I didn't realize that, Carl. That's interesting.
Thanks, chicken, bro.
Because they're still building.
Tesla's king. Tesla is king, dude. Daisy said if you place orders with companies like Edward Jones and Vanguard, they make trades at the closing. Really?
Well, I thought that there were some delays.
I suppose if you're doing like
workforce, which is why this is a bit of a surprise. By the way, there's still $12 billion in grants and subsidies and loans that are.
Let me look over here real quick too. Oh my God, we're going up, guys. 0.74%. Oh my God.
I no longer want people to get out of Intel.
But you don't?
No.
What?
I'm going to need more coffee.
Did you hear what Cristiano Mon said?
Oh my God, we're already breaking out. I'm just going to put this up to the 270 range, guys.
That's how I read it.
I'm going to get more coffee. We're going to play CNBC for a bit. I'm going to need more juice because this is getting ready to get sick. I'll be right back, guys. Wow.
The administration and how she was asking people in Sun Valley, for example, at the Allen Company, buy Intel chips. Will you please buy Intel chips? Meanwhile, none of the money has been made available yet to Intel.
No, because they have to meet.
Because they have to meet certain hurdles, certain milestones in order to actually to get the money.
But they have partners.
They do. They have Apollo,
and that's why
Brookfield.
That's why I can't short them anymore, because they'll put up the money.
It kind of reminds me, Jim, of these. You've talked about floors. Intel at 20, Boeing at 145, Nike at 70. It's just hard to push them below.
It really is. That's where people want them. They wanted Starbucks in the 96. And one of the things you mentioned, footwear, Hoka's. There was a report that Hoka sales could be weaker, and that's why Decker's up, because they weren't. They were great. Our partner here,
it's Friday.
In an ill-advised look, he's wearing Hoka's.
I don't wear a tie, and I wear my Hoka's on Friday. And I feel very comfortable. Very,
there they are.
There I am. Yeah. Yes, very comfortable.
Does that shirt? Does that shirt have any cotton in it?
Yes, the shirt is.
It looks fire retardant.
It's very nice.
Is that fire retardant shirt?
Very nice. Oh, my hair is a little messy. There we go.
Oh, shut up.
Oh, shut up. No, wait a second. All right, let's get back to the fact that you said to stop selling Intel.
I can't.
He buries these things.
Cristiano Mon, I mean, when he came out, this is the CEO of Qualcomm.
Nobody has been more critical of that company. By the way,
well, because he may not be there.
One of your better calls, I would add.
Wow, look at that! What a bone he throws me.
Nice.
I am saying.
You're saying it's over?
No, I'm saying he may be over. Gelsinger.
Oh, Gelsinger.
If Cristiano Mon buys it, I don't think he's going to keep Pat around.
By the way, if Qualcomm were to, and I have heard nothing to indicate that has really moved forward in a significant way. They don't want the fabs. They're going to need a partner or something.
Well, after the ARM Holdings lawsuit, what they did was, remember, they just changed it. They're going to make it so if they lose the lawsuit,
well, Qualcomm, not the lawsuit,
it's just a
60-day, whatever it is.
No, but the 60-day has made it so that it's really
a lawsuit as
right.
well.
So think about if you're ARM. Well, you know what? They basically can go everywhere, take over Apple's IP for instead of Qualcomm.
The one other thing,
the risks are really big for Qualcomm. They're rolling the dice, Carl.
right. Meanwhile, we never did talk to you yesterday about Transocean Seadrill, couple that with Cigna Humana and Frontier Spirit. What's going on with all these resumed talks?
I think that these are all situations where there's too much competition and you want to lessen it. Maybe they're betting on a Trump administration because all those deals, I think, could be blocked. Now, Transocean used to be a very big stock. Take a long view on Transocean. But Transocean is the driller for Chevron, the Gulf of Mexico, and people love them. The Spirit, I don't know. I mean, yeah. Humana's interesting. I don't think Cigna would do it if it's going to hurt their stock. They're very sensitive stock. And Centene, the late Michael Meyer said have been an amazing company.
How do you? We talked about this. How do you negotiate a price given the huge discrepancy in what Humana's earnings could be in 26 with the whole stars that they don't have that they might get back? So.
Yeah.
The fault in our stars.
Just wait. Yes, not ourselves. No. Wait till you get to that level where you have to check the stars. It's like when we were young and you looked at your AAA rating from. AA.
Yes. Remember you get the maps, the triptych when you go on a big trip?
Yeah, and it says speed trap.
Remember that?
We're getting some news out of Alphabet and Waymo. For that, we're going to turn to Deirdre Bosa. Morning, Dee.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. So Alphabet-owned Waymo has now closed a $5.6 billion round of funding to expand its robotaxi services, widen its lead in the space. The Series C investment was oversubscribed. They initially set out to raise $5 billion. It was led by Alphabet. Participation.
Oh, guys, oh no. Waymo's going to widen their lead. Everybody sell Tesla stock.
Fidelity, Andreessen Horowitz, Silver Lake, Tiger Global, among others. Now, Waymo currently operates here in San Francisco, LA, Phoenix, under the Waymo One ride-hailing app. It will expand to Austin and Atlanta next year.
Tesla go
Uber.
up.
And this is really part of Alphabet's other bets category, which does lose billions of dollars.
I hate this lady so much. She's one of the most retarded people on CNBC. She's cute, but she's stupid as shit. And she roots against Tesla. You could just tell she hates Elon Musk so much. She's got to be the most liberal of liberals. Because Waymo is widening their lead. They're going to widen their lead with all this money coming in. Dude, they can't even, without an HD map, they can't even figure out what they're doing.
Annually. So as CEO Sundar Pichai promises investors more cost discipline in recent years, raising outside money for Waymo, that is a way of controlling costs when it's also spending very big on AI build-out. This could also make Waymo easier to spin off in the future, which some people have asked for. Now, in the announcement, Waymo's co-CEOs, they say that they're now delivering over 100,000 rides a week. Guys, that is a tenfold increase from last year. And Jim, I know you've had a few chances to try it when you're in San Francisco. I almost exclusively take it now over Ubers when I'm in the city. People love it because you don't have to tip. You don't have to talk to the drivers. People feel safer, especially women.
And it's not Tesla. And I hate Tesla, so it's Waymo.
Yeah, but
sorry, go ahead, Jim.
You know that they can put more people in Waymo than they can put in what Musk has. But Deirdre, you know that Musk belittled Waymo.
She looks so, every time they even say his name, she looks like she's going to punch somebody. She'd punch a baby if they say it.
And basically talked to it
look
as
at her eyes.
Company that has very few cars. I really made them sound like fools. And what do you think? I mean, they don't seem like fools.
I mean, if the fleet is about 700,000 vehicles delivering now 100,000 rides a week, not really something to shrug at. Tesla's in a very different position. It's taking a different approach technologically as well. They don't have a fleet as of now. Musk's promises, but he's been promising for a long time, as you guys know well, that his own robotaxis are going to be out on the roads. We're not anywhere near that yet. So Waymo...
We're literally looking at their cars being better than Waymo without HD mapping and having, I don't know, like 1,000x more of them on the road in 8 months. In the next 8 months, they're going to be better than a human driver. They're going to be better than Waymo. They're not going to look retarded. Absolutely retarded. Look at this thing. I don't even want to be seen in this car. And that thing right there, it's like $160,000 or something dollars, 180. I can't even remember the price. Anybody remember the price? $180,000. Cybercab, $30,000. Please don't even compare it.
is certainly the leader. The way that Tesla's developing its technology, if it does work, could allow it to catch up very quickly.
Congrats,
Victor.
Victor.
I don't know, Jim, you've taken a Waymo. They're pretty impressive vehicles.
Oh,
and they're out in
Grok said Waymo costs 250. Dude, even if it's 180, it's ridiculous. You're talking like 9x the price of a cybercab, and the cybercab will be better in every way.
Try to put as many
people are paying for them.
Yeah, we try to put as many people in it as we could.
I mean, it just reminds me of people that are push companies that are completely unprofitable and that have, it's like you can look great and have revenues growing. You can look great. Revenues can just keep going up. You can love that stuff, right? I got to remember to go the opposite way with my hands when I'm on video. But increasing revenues to me means nothing if you can't turn on the dial and actually start making money. If you can't make money, I don't care. I don't care what you are. This company right here doesn't even have, they have Jaguar. That's the only reason anybody even buys these iPace or whatever Jaguar EVs is because Google buys them for Waymo. That's literally the only so you don't even have like a good car. You don't have good technology for getting people around. You don't have the best technology, and you've got exorbitantly high costs. They're not comparable, which is why she's got this constipated look on her face when she's talking.
Can't be in the trunk.
Because it's probably painful. Probably got to hold it in.
No, as you did to your executive producer, Regina Gilligan. Deirdre, is this the first time that Waymo has raised outside capital? And if so, you got to get a valuation for this thing if you're putting money in. So what is the value? Do we know?
We don't know. There's certainly some guesses. So to answer your first question, no, this isn't the first time that Waymo has taken outside money. It's Series A. It's a little complicated. Was led by Google, but it wasn't sort of Google proper.
I just want to point out that I'm probably, if this keeps up, man, I could break $1 million on just Tesla gains in 2 days. I just want to point that out. Okay? This is so cool. This is so cool.
Their venture arm, they've taken outside money. We don't know what the valuation is, but if you look at an Uber, which is worth what, more than $150 billion, some people say that Waymo could be worth in the somewhere around 150 or 110.
Why is she comparing Waymo? Fully autonomous vehicles are way more valuable than Uber. The margins aren't even the same. This is why I don't understand why we actually have commentary coming from retarded, good-looking people. You know what I mean? Like, why is this lady even having this conversation? She's not an expert in anything. She should be asking questions, not answering them. Maybe getting coffee.
I've seen one guest from one analyst, $1 billion. But again, David, it's losing a lot of money for its parent company, right? So this is a way of maybe making the finances look a little better. And that's why you've heard some investors ask.
I put Tesla in the bottom corner, guys. Let me just make sure it's showing right. It's up 2.4% today. Ignore fools like this lady. Her input is not remotely valuable. Once we hit this alert up here, it's game over. It's game over. We're going to make so much money off of Tesla, guys. I told you this. People are like, Jesse, are you selling yet? Yeah, dude, I sold. I sold like 0.4, 0.5% of my position on my calls yesterday. Today, I might sell another 0.5% on my position. And I will just keep nibbling off little bits on the way higher as I get richer and richer and richer. So yeah, I'm taking profits. I'm taking them slow, yo. I'm taking them slow. I got $1.25 million in Tesla calls. I'm not taking them quick. Michael Penn, thank you for the 10 memberships, man. I really appreciate. I love it when you guys give memberships a lot. I love the tips too. I love all of it. Like it's great to have appreciation, but I really love it when you give the memberships because it gives people a chance to talk, and I think that's wonderful. Some of them I don't want to hear them talk, and so they get blocked really quickly, right? Like the Lens and whoever that other person was the other day. But you know, there's a lot of good people in here too, and I love giving people a voice, just not stupid people, not her.
Ask for a spin out so it can operate sort of as its own unit, and the losses
Yellen.
are part of
Janet Yellen. She was in the chat. Janet Yellen. She probably wanted to be here all the time. We're up 3%. We're up. I just gotta sit here for a second. I've got such a busy day, guys. I gotta leave here to go change a tire for my mother-in-law's car that we bought for them years ago, but it's breaking down. I don't want to buy another one right now. I don't want to take money out before tax time. I want to wait until the next calendar year. So I don't want to buy her a new car. I'm actually going to buy the wife a Model Y Juniper, so I'm waiting for that too, right? We're getting so close to 270, guys. What? Oh, did Sawyer have a post? Thanks, F. Christoph. Let's take a look. But so I got to fix that car. Window tinting now available through XPEL, increased privacy. We're now offering window tinting products through XPEL, a leading automotive window tinting service. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I dig it. I don't know if that's sending the price today, but that is cool. But yeah, so anyway, I've got to go and swap out a tire for her. And then I need to help a friend with his car and getting it dropped off because his brakes are bad. I wish everybody owned Teslas. And so eventually I'm going to give my mother-in-law our Model Y, which only has like 45,000 miles on it and another almost like, or 3.5 years on the warranty. And then my wife will have a Juniper the beginning of this next year. But I'm helping people with all these cars all the time. And then I've got a lunch date, and then I've got to help my nephew move his stuff into our house because he's going to be living with us. And then I need to write a letter for him, too, for the court thing. So it's going to be a busy day today for me. I might have to have you guys giving me the news at the market recap. So, but yeah, let's listen to this moron. Let's see what else she has to say. Oh, God, her face. It's like she's cute, but you want to punch it, too.
5.6 billion this.
Danny, thank you very much for the 10 memberships, man. I appreciate it. You guys are awesome. For reals. Soaring Shitty, leave that chat open for the boys. Zenith, thanks, Michael, for the membership. Much appreciated. You guys are great. Yeah, make sure you thank these people, too, when they're doing this nice stuff for you guys and giving you a voice. Make sure you thank them.
This time, do we know how much they've taken in previously, again, since the inception of the company in terms of outside capital, not just Alphabet? Sorry.
Over $11 billion, and that does include Google, but not Alphabet proper. So over $11 billion.
Got it.
And I spoke to an executive a few weeks ago who says that they are absolutely making strides to becoming more profitable, and that's part of.
Not profitable. $180,000 to $250,000 cars look retarded, but they're making strides, guys. Yeah.
Sort of the fleet that they're building, the ones that you have taken, Jim, is sort of the first version. They're working with Zeekr and a few others to create other vehicles that could be more efficient and hopefully operate where you guys are in New York, just not outside of the Sun Belt.
It's huge. Thank you, Dee. It's really huge, and I think everybody has to recognize that if you listen to Musk,
oh, her face,
you really will go with exactly what you just said, which is just better. People like to not talk, but you can't put as many people in one, but it's not LiDAR. You don't have this giant thing on top.
I love that Jen Kramer has come around.
Yeah, that's the.
Yeah, it's for court, so I'll probably use something like that, or maybe my wife can because we've got to basically write something talking about his character. But there's a lot I could say, and he's come around. He's a really good kid. I mean, he's in his early 20s, like 20 years old, but he's a kid to me. So he used to hang onto my leg, and I'd drag him around the house before I'd leave at my brother's place. So he's still a kid to me. He might tower over me. He's like 6'2" or something, but 6'3". I don't know. He's tall. But yeah, gotta help out family, right, man? Hey, I'm happy to create this community. And Jesse, thank you for being an alpha male. Assuming you're a male. Yeah, you spelled it right. You spelled Jesse right, so we're gonna say male. Thank you very much, sir.
That's the whole sticky point. We'll see whether or not Texas leads on this front, given some
They're going to.
of the regulatory friction in California. Speaking of autos, Jim, Mercedes stepping up cost cuts again.
Mercedes is fucked. Well, I definitely want to see that. But real quickly, something I want to show here super fast is right here. Tesla's not even my winner today. And this is going to update. I think it's going to look a lot better, actually. But today it's PayPal, guys. Look at PayPal. 5.7%. The 2025s are popping. They're at 25%. But I got so much of that trash. But I'll probably just let that burn. But the 2026 is Look at this, 5% on a 1.17. It's not quite the return I want. It could get better, but I love seeing this up and leading my portfolio for gains on the day. I definitely don't hate it. And Hood, this hasn't updated yet, but look at this. Up 140%. Here's one of my old contracts, up 460. I've made so much money off of Hood. It's ridiculous. This is looking exciting. I might actually, I might buy more Clean Spark too. I don't know. There's so much to do, guys. There's so much to do. This is going to be another exciting day for Tesla, I think. It's going to be really good stuff. Let's listen to what they have to say about how horrible Mercedes-Benz is doing.
And cutting their profit margin target again.
These are German companies that don't really ever have to do this. I think AutoNation shows you you've got weakness throughout the chain. Musk talks about how interest rates.
Thank you, Susan. I do try to be that way. I try to provide a lot of insight. So I appreciate you saying that it's hands down the one-stop shop when you need stock news without any BS. Thank you. AP has some news. I'm going to take a look at that real quick while we listen to these guys.
Too high. Referencing Musk as much as the rest of the world.
Right. Although AutoNation kind of points to the CDK outage, which threw a wrench in the quarter.
That was
Ha.
But by the way, that's a good reason.
So you guys, if you don't know this is a part of the news I was going to talk about today. I might save some of this stuff for the market recap because, frankly, I'm not going to have a lot of time to drop new news. But this is Michael Saylor sending a message to Satya Nadella, the CEO of Microsoft, saying if you want to make the next $1 trillion for Microsoft shareholders, call me. They have a vote. Coming up to buy Bitcoin for their holdings. If that happens, the precedent set from that would be unreal. Unreal for Bitcoin. Unreal. Do I think MSTU is still a good buy? Isn't the ratio that you... it's back high again. It's high again. But I was telling people when we dropped down, I think it was like in the 190, 180 range, that it was a good buy. Right now, today, well, it's actually dropped. Yesterday it was 2.75. Now it's down to 2.56. So I'd say it's decent. I know this. I know James from Invest Answers. He has this. They're talking about Lamb Research. We might jump into that in a second too. He has this multiplier sheet that shows you where MicroStrategy is going to be. He tops out at 2.75. I think he's going to have to change that sheet to 3. I told him that yesterday. When I was chatting in one of his posts, I'm like, bro, you're gonna need to increase this because I think the chance that we're hitting 3 and maybe even 3.5 is as insane as that sounds. I think that could come, and you could see where it even did some crazy stuff. Look at 2021, guys, when this thing was 3.7x the NAV. So I still think it's a good buy. Could it retrace over the short term? Yes, we could get weird volatility heading into the election. It's less than a week and a half, right? And we're going to have the election for the president of the United States. And that now we're getting things like, it could take 2 weeks for Arizona to be able to count. It's such bullshit. They're trying to steal the election. There's not even any questions about it anymore. It's blatant. It's blatant and in your face nowadays. But let's go back to Tesla real quick. Tip for a little Jim, 3%. So again, we're grinding up near that 270. Maybe we do that for a while. We do have more economic data coming out in 3 minutes. So we'll probably pop over here to CNBC just to check it out. It's going to be the Michigan data, guys. This is the last bit of data. And then we don't really have much until we come back. I mean, Monday is Dallas Fed and Treasury refunding and financing estimates. And data from like Hong Kong and China over the weekends, a little bit of Japan. Japan has its general elections coming up. That's going to be fascinating. So maybe some geopolitical stuff heading into next week. But really, this data coming out at 9 is it. Once that comes out and I give my analysis, I'm going to have to bail. I got all this. I got fix 2 cars, go to lunch, help my nephew move into our house, and then come back for the market recap. So I'll be driving my Tesla Cybertruck around town. I'll take a picture of what it looks like in the day, too, with my Galaxy S10 Plus and my phone with a ticker on there while I'm watching YouTube TV and having my car drive me around. Don't tell anybody I said that. But definitely can't get in any accidents or my liability is going to go through the roof now that I've said that on YouTube. So we're going to work really hard to make sure that doesn't happen, for if nothing else, for Tesla's sake. But it's so cool. I got to show it to you guys. All right, so let's get over here. We'll let CNBC kind of run with this and refresh. I'm just checking through chat. Can you look at bro? I'll do stocks later today, and I know I've said this before, but Saturday I'm gonna actually do like a jam session. We're getting ready to break out in Tesla, guys. We're over 269 right now. Okay, we're at 269. Wow, that's just nuts, dude. Just amazing. Godspeed. I did put in a... Let me check something real quick here. See if this happened. Let me see here. Still got an open contract. Oh, dude, I'm already up $50,000 on Tesla today. $50,000. That's crazy. I might actually sell a couple of contracts. We'll see. Yeah, I don't know anymore, dude. You did, Daniel? When did you do that? When did you do that? I'm breathing just fine. Thank you, Scooter. When did you do that, Daniel? That's a great move, man. I hope you did it before the big 21% move, 22% move, and then on top of what we have today. Oh, we should get this up in a second. I'm just taking a look. I'm possibly going to sell a couple of contracts. I might even sell 1% of my Tesla position today. I know it's a big amount, and people are going to ask me, why are you selling if you believe in Tesla so much? I don't know, because I put a shit ton of money in when all you guys were running away. That. All right, let's see. God, dude, this is crazy today. The contracts, guys, they were $30, these contracts, before we got earnings. They're $60.75 right now. Wrap your head around that. In one day, 100% gain. Or in 2 days, 100% gains. 100%. Yeah, dude. There's theta decay, Gary. Hopefully you understand options good. There's theta decay. Needs 55. Jesse, you have to keep moving when you pause. Otherwise, I think my computer is freezing. Oh, sorry. Whoa, JT and Susan. Thank you. Thank you guys for the 20 gifted memberships. You guys are awesome. I really appreciate you.
Friday morning, welcome to another hour of Squawk on the Street. I'm Sarah Eisen here with Carl Quintanilla and David Faber. Live as always from Post 9 at the New York Stock Exchange. Stock looking to end the week on a high note. We're up to...
I'm up 6 figures today, guys. What the F?
0.75% right now in the S&P 500.
Oh, I have already passed 3,000 members. That just happened in this video.
If you look beneath the surface, at what's working today. Technology is right up there, so that's helping. Communication services, consumer discretionary. We've got a broad-based rally, only 0.2% as this rally gets going here.
The data should be
fueled
out.
By tech, but broad-based
cyclicals
are playing as well. Take a look at treasuries. They've been the...
All right, these guys are slow. We're getting to the data. I don't know what their problem is. All right, Michigan consumer sentiment, 70.5. Oh, versus 69 forecast and 68.9. So consumer sentiment is improving. Michigan 5-year inflation expectations, 3%, coming in line. We like that. Michigan consumer expectations final, 74.1, up 1.3 or 1.2 from what consensus and forecast. Beautiful. Current conditions, 64.9, 2.2 points better than consensus and forecast. Beautiful. Inflation expectations final, 2.7%, 0.2% lower than consensus and forecast. Get ready to boom. Get ready to boom. Oh.
Story this week. Got some yield stabilization just in the last 2 days or so. The 10-year yield sits around 4.2. We'll talk about it. The 2-year yield, 4%. So elevated on the week, but looks like it's not climbing further this morning. We're 30 minutes here into the trading session. Here are our 3 big movers we're watching. Shares of Capri Holdings and Tapestry moving in opposite directions.
I would not be holding covered calls of anything Tesla right now. You're going to get your face ripped off.
After a federal judge blocked their merger. The latest there is Capri shares get nearly cut in half right now.
Yeah, they're better next to the election, but honestly, again, they've been juicing the economy. Whether it's shadow banking, with the Fed juicing the economy, I should say the Treasury actually is the one doing it right now, or the Fed dropping 50 bips, or all the government employees. It doesn't matter. The numbers are going up, right? The numbers are going up. But again, they're trying to make them look good before the election. You're 100% right about that. That's totally. But here's the thing. Most investors are smart enough to know that it's not sustainable and know who to vote for.
And 47%.
Let's fast forward to get to Rick
Also on the
Santelli.
retail front, shares of Hoka and UGG parent Deckers Outdoor on the move.
Good morning,
Rick Santelli.
Now, these are important because we had an October.
And we're going to get his take real quick on here, guys, and then I'm going to bail right after that because I got so much to do.
Mid-month read. These are the October final reads, and they've all improved. We had 68.9 for the headline. It jumps up to 70.
You know he's going to say something about this getting better right before the election. You know he is.
0.5, the best since April of this year. Current conditions, 62.7 mid-month, 64.9, best since June. If we look at what lies ahead, expectations, 74.1, best since September. And now let's go to the inflation numbers. And there's a surprise here as well. 2.7 on the 1 year. That was 2.9. Now, 2.7 equals our September read. To find a lower one, you have to go back to December of 2020. And on the 5 to 10 year, it remains a 3.0. And by the way, that's the 6th 3.0 reading for 2024. If you had to summarize, good news on the 1 year inflation coming back to equal a month this year, but still on the low side based on history. But all 3 metrics a little bit better than expected. So we're going to watch the markets try to grapple with this a bit. It doesn't look like it's dinging on the equity side. There's a lot of green. And of course, on the rate side, we see rates are a bit lower on the day, but on the week, take a step back. We're currently at 403 on a 2 year. That's up 8 on the week. And currently at 418 on a 10. That is up 10 on the week. Now, if we look at one more thing, of course, the dollar index has been on a nice run based on interest rates. Many are going to continue to look at the close to see if it remains near term on a daily basis, but still rather lofty when you look at it based on the last month and a half. Sarah, back to you.
Okay, thank you, Rick.
Wow, pretty reserved
Summarizing
from Rick.
the action this week in Treasuries as well, which has been a big story on what's mostly been better news on the economy. You know, the IMF World Bank meetings got underway this week where all the finance ministers and central bankers from around the world gather in Washington to talk about the world's issues.
All right, guys. So I did sell one contract for Tesla, it looks like. I've got another one out there to sell. So I'm just, again, nibbling, not even 1% off. I'm like 0.5% of my portfolio that I'm selling today or something like that for Tesla. So, and then I bought some Mara with it. So I'm going to be posting that to subscribers on X, and then I'll be putting it in the Discord too. Other people will not see this stuff in the future, and I won't talk about it in my live streams either. So if you don't subscribe to the Discord and or X, X is the most timely of them, you will not see my trades. So just to be clear. And Dib will not see anything because the Dib got blocked. But I'm going to go ahead and post them in here right now. So I'm going to be done for the day, guys. Really appreciate you. Probably going to skip the music today and just bail out. Thank you guys as usual. I will see you probably at 3 p.m., maybe 2:30. I'm trying to get the market recap going earlier in the day so that we can all just kind of go out and live our lives. So I really appreciate everybody that's here. Thank you, Juan, for joining and becoming a member. Thank you for all the gifted memberships today and all the regular subscribers that just support this channel every day. If you guys could hit the like to comment after the video, definitely reshare and comment within the X feed. It's all greatly appreciated. I love you guys. Thank you very much. And have a great rest of your day, okay? Peace out, guys.